all the focus today, at least in Canberra, on this visit from the Chinese Premier. And yes, we've heard a lot of headlines around the obvious issues to do with trade with the two countries, namely the tariffs that have been removed sort of one by one, rock lobsters, the main remaining one. But what else does the relationship entail, and where are the opportunities? Joining me now is Lee Howard, Chief Executive with AsiaLink Business. Thanks for your time. As I said, yep, we've all heard about barley and wine, and I know these are significant issues for the people involved, but what about the rest of the relationship? I mean, iron ore is obviously massive, coal, student numbers effectively are exports as well. What are some of the big areas of the exporting to China that we don't hear as much about?
Yeah, hi Tom, good to be with you. Look, really great question, because for so long the focus has been on these basket of export commodities, if you like, and just how damaging the impact was when the trade measures, the trade bans were brought into place. And there's been a really strong focus on, about $20 billion worth of Australian exports, which is by no means insignificant. But the potential for the relationship, purely on a commercial sense, is so much greater. You've referenced iron ore. Iron ore was never seemed to be that close to being in danger in terms of China wanting to impose a ban on that category, because it's so critical to the development of the Chinese economy and its infrastructure, and students as well. Student numbers from China have sort of wavered a bit. Hard to get a baseline after COVID to a certain extent, but there are so many opportunities as economies evolve and develop that we'd be wanting to think about to determine if it's in Australia's interest to be partnering with China on certain sectors or not. There's the inevitable march to renewables and decarbonisation, and we can see Australia interacting with a lot of countries in Southeast Asia and the world at large. So, what type of relationship do we want to have on that front as well? Technology and innovation more broadly. There's huge opportunities in terms of technology. We still see a lot of Australian exporters going to China via e-commerce, and we did throughout COVID, and even when the trade disputes are on, a lot of consumer and wellness goods coming out of the Australian economy were really popular with Chinese consumers.
Yeah, we have that sort of clean and green reputation. You mentioned that before going towards renewables, there's obviously a Labor push to give tax credits for processing critical minerals, and I guess this is a different part. It's not really that China's going to want our processed critical minerals. I suspect they'll be trying to process them and keep jobs there, but it does open up an opportunity for us and the rest of the world, doesn't it? Because we've got this supply of them, but even to have our own sovereignty, if we don't process them at all, we can still be quite beholden to China in sort of future threats to do with the relationship.
Yeah, and I don't think Australia's alone in this. For a long time, a lot of countries and economies have been thinking about the supply of critical minerals as they've come to become more and more important to the overall value chain, if you like, for electric vehicles, but also, vehicles generally, other technical equipment, if you like. So the pursuit of critical minerals, the themes of being able to have some security of supply, that's playing out for Australia. And so we're really trying to navigate, to a certain extent, yes, it's great that we're seeing a restoration of positive relations with China, but there's still a lot of difficult things to be sort of worked through, to be navigated, to work out, where in the production
and I guess every
chain
business
we want
has to weigh up, how dependent do I want to end up on China? Here's an opportunity. Here's 1.5 billion potential customers, but it comes with uncertainty. And I guess, the government's taken the approach of warning but not regulating, so it's up to businesses and industries. How is that going, do you think?
Diversification just became the biggest theme over recent years. Australian exporters were looking for alternative markets if they were affected by the trade bans, but even for those who weren't, they suddenly took a different lens to the Chinese consumer market. They started to evaluate their exposure. The work we do at AsiaLink Business is to provide Australian businesses with knowledge and insights about how to do business in the Asia region. We've been swamped with inquiries around understanding markets in Southeast Asia, understanding India, understanding how to do business in all of these economies. What do they need to know to enter the market and be successful? So, as I say, diversification just became the biggest theme in recent years.
Yeah. In terms of what we buy, look, I'll put this to you, see if you disagree. It seems like with a lot of Chinese-made products, they start off often as sort of cheap imitations and then just get better and better. Now, it happened with clothing, and once upon a time you went, oh, it's made in China, but now no one sort of blinks at that. Cars is an interesting recent example. Only a few years ago, Great Wall Motors were sort of being mocked. Now there are more and more companies, and they seem to be improving the quality of them.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And look, China's a big economy, so there's room in the economy for both products that are, made to a minimum standard, but we're seeing increasing sophistication by Chinese manufacturers, and a whole range of quality goods are manufactured in China now, whether it's under Chinese brands or under other international brands that have decided to base their manufacturing and production facilities there in China. So it's a big economy. There's a range of standards of manufacturing quality on offering for consumers and businesses that want to buy those goods as well.
Lee Howard, good to get your thoughts today. Thank you.